What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about God of War. Yeah, God of War is finally coming to a PC near you. Now, this is the first God of War that will be released on PC. This is after the first three God of Wars that were on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3, remastered for the PlayStation 4. We had God of War Ascension, which released on the PlayStation 4. And then we also had the PSP God of Wars, God of War Chains of Olympus, and God of War Ghost of Sparta. Both amazing games. And now Sony has decided to introduce God of War to the PC market. A more subdued version of Kratos that PC gamers are going to experience compared to the original games, but nevertheless well deserving of the Game of the Year awards that it has received since launch in 2018. Now, this is definitely in line with the strategy that Sony has adopted in recent years regarding their PS5 exclusives. We had games like Horizon Zero Dawn launching on PC, and we also just recently was announced that Uncharted: A Thief's End is also going to show up on PC. Now, obviously, these games are releasing quite far from their original release dates, which is again in line with what I believe to be Sony's strategy. Very different to what Microsoft has decided to do regarding how they're handling the PC markets and how they're tapping into that untapped space, as it were. Now, with Microsoft, it was always strange that they make the operating system that runs on the majority of computers out there, and yet the support for games on Windows-based systems has really been lacking for the longest time. I mean, yes, there have been games such as the original Gears of War that are showing up on PC. There have been games like Halo 1 and Halo 2 that have also shown up on PC. But I mean, just speaking about Halo 2, that was really sold as a way to get people to adopt Windows Vista at the time. And then right after that, Halo 3, Halo 4, and Halo 5 never saw PC releases until now with Halo: The Master Chief Collection. The only game that I could say has been pretty consistent in as far as being developed by Microsoft and being released on PC, I'd say the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and even that took quite a bit of a hiatus. And now we have the next version of Flight Simulator, which was released on PC. The track record that Microsoft has had over the past has not been great. But that all changed when Phil Spencer came aboard and really adopted the PC market and kind of put it together as part of the console market, or at least the Xbox market, which again, it makes sense. With Xbox Game Pass for PC especially, all first-party Microsoft exclusives or first-party titles are going to release on the same day as they would on console. They'll be available for the PC market. They'll be available day one on Game Pass for the PC market, same with the console market. And that was a really bold choice of Microsoft to do. I think that really spoke to Microsoft and Xbox's strategy to adopt the PC market as part of the Xbox ecosystem. And then secondly, it also fits in line with what the strategy is around how Xbox is handling their console sales. It might not be too far to say that, yes, Microsoft would definitely like you to buy a console, which is why they went as far as to release a significantly cheaper version of the console, the Xbox Series S, which is only $399, or in this part of the world, 6,999 Rand. They would rather you get Game Pass at the very least, and if you're able to get a console, then you get a console. But Game Pass is the main driving point that Microsoft's trying to get across here. And they want you to get Game Pass regardless of the platform that you're on. So if you're on PC, you can get Game Pass. If you're on console, you get Game Pass. And then if you're a mobile gamer that just moves around a lot with tablets or phone and a controller, you get Game Pass and you can play those games through the cloud without actually needing any of the Xbox hardware out there. This is not available in all regions, not available in South Africa at the moment, but it's still, you are dipping your toe into the Xbox ecosystem, as it is called now, with or without a console. And if you do, you're still going to get access to first-party Microsoft developed games as soon as they launch. Now, that is a bold strategy from Microsoft, and that's Microsoft fully adopting the PC market. That's Microsoft's strategy. Sony, on the other hand, have taken a different approach, and this works really well with Sony, given how dominant they are in the market at the moment. Now, with Sony, it's safe to say that their specialty at the moment is releasing kick-ass, exclusive, single-player oriented games, right? Think about any game that stands out to you in the last 5 years, and they have all been sit-down experiences where you playing a single-player game, you're running through a story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. You let go of the controller, you're done with the game more or less, and you can come back for a new game plus and a few other DLCs. But essentially, it is a single-player experience. Now with Sony, they would rather you buy a PS5 or at least the latest PlayStation hardware, and this will obviously give you access to a wide variety of single-player games as and when they release on that console. So these exclusives are mainly meant, or at least they're built to drive console sales, and you can see that given how PlayStation 5 sales have just dominated in the last few years since it has been released. So Sony's strategy is definitely to sell as many PS5 consoles, and they will do everything they can to avoid any disruption to that, which is why, at least in the PS4 generation, seeing a console exclusive show up on PC, I mean, it was a fairy tale, let's be honest, right? When games such as Vanquish and Bayonetta started showing up on the Steam storefront, I kind of thought, there might be something here, something clearly is happening. And then when Horizon Zero Dawn was announced, okay, like we kind of figured what the strategy was. Sony is going to keep on releasing these amazing first-party games on PC storefronts, or going to release it on Steam, and I suppose Epic Games as well. Years after they have released these games on the PlayStation 5, with the assumption that anyone who would buy a PlayStation 5 to play these games would have done so already. And obviously anyone who has a PlayStation 5 is going to buy those games on the PlayStation 5 first, rather than wait a couple of years to get the game on PC. So this separates these two ecosystems, these two types of people who have a PlayStation 5, people who are willing to get a PlayStation 5 to play these games, and then obviously people who are just whether not willing or cannot afford, or it's just not in the pipeline for them to get a PlayStation 5, but they do have a PC. So Sony's strategy is to definitely tap into both markets without one compromising the other one, which works. I know plenty of people who, they can live without playing Spider-Man for a while and wait for it to release on PC after a few years, because they've got other things to play on the PC storefront, or at least on PC at the time. And this strategy, it definitely works. I think Sony has cemented itself in the market to be able to make these kind of power moves, release a 2-3-year-old game on PC, and still have a significant fan base that's willing to play those games, because those games are really amazing. But essentially, you do have these two different approaches to the PC market, with Microsoft fully embracing day one releases on PC, with Sony leveraging off the popularity of their first-party titles to be able to release it a couple of years later on PC and still see some profit, I assume. All in all, we're going to be seeing a lot more PS5 or PlayStation exclusives showing up on PC. We're also going to see a lot of Microsoft first-party titles and exclusive coming to PC as and when they release. It just sounds like it is a really good time to be a PC gamer. It's the best time if you're a PC and a PlayStation 5 owner, but if you're a PC only owner, you are the center of attention at the moment, with Microsoft and Sony trying the very best to give you the very best games. Just Microsoft will do it sooner, with PlayStation doing it a couple of years later. But still, you're going to get amazing games. That's it. Thank you everyone for listening in, and thank you everyone for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please hit that like button below, and also hit that notification button so you don't miss the next upload. If you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for coming and listening, and I will chat to you in the next one. Cheers.